Pyramids of Giza. Like, subscribe, share.
In the endless silence of the Egyptian desert, the pyramids of Giza do more than rise against the horizon. They interrupt time itself. They are not just monuments. They are questions carved in stone, standing there for 4,500 years, refusing to fade, refusing to explain themselves easily. The most famous of them, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, was once the tallest human-made structure on Earth. Even today, it remains a mathematical and engineering enigma wrapped in limestone. It contains roughly 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing several tons, arranged with a precision that modern engineers still admire in disbelief. Not just built, orchestrated. So the question deepens, not only who built them, but what kind of civilization could think this way? A civilization of precision, not myth. For a long time, ancient writers and later historians struggled to imagine how such a structure could exist without advanced machinery. That gap in understanding gave birth to myths, lost civilizations, divine intervention, even extraterrestrial theories. But archaeology, especially over the last century, has steadily replaced myth with something far more grounded and arguably more extraordinary. Excavations around Giza reveal a highly organized industrial society. Worker settlements show planned streets, bakeries producing thousands of loaves a day, breweries supplying beer as a staple calorie source, and medical care areas for injured laborers. This was not chaos or forced mass slavery in the Hollywood sense. It was state-organized large-scale labor, similar in some ways to massive public works projects of later empires, but on an unprecedented scale for its time. Teams of workers were organized and named. Inscriptions inside the pyramid construction layers even preserve their identities. Crews with proud names like the Friends of Khufu or the Drunkards of Menkora. These were not anonymous slaves erased by history, but participants in a national religious and political project. The engineering problem that still baffles us, but organization alone does not lift stone. The real mystery is mechanical. How did they physically move such enormous blocks with Bronze Age technology? One widely accepted explanation involves sledges dragged across sand. Ancient artwork shows workers pouring water in front of sledges to reduce friction, effectively transforming dry desert sand into a near-slippery surface. Experiments have confirmed that this technique dramatically reduces the force needed to move heavy loads. Then there is the question of vertical construction. Theories suggest a combination of straight ramps, zigzagging ramps, or spiral ramps wrapped around the structure. Each solution comes with trade-offs. Longer ramps require more material, steeper ramps require more force, and internal ramps limit visibility and coordination. What emerges is not a single magic method, but a layered engineering strategy that likely evolved over decades as the pyramid rose higher. In that sense, the Great Pyramid was not built with one perfect plan. It was refined in real time, like a massive experiment in stone. And yet, even with all these explanations, one detail continues to provoke awe: the alignment. The pyramid is oriented almost perfectly to true north, with an error so small it rivals modern surveying tools. It also encodes geometric relationships that suggest deep knowledge of proportions, astronomy, and spatial mathematics. Whether achieved through careful observation of stars or long-term refinement of surveying methods, it reveals a civilization that understood the sky with remarkable precision. A structure built for eternity. not for Earth. To understand why the pyramids were built, we must leave engineering and enter belief. For ancient Egyptians, the universe was not random. It was governed by Ma'at, a principle of cosmic order, balance and harmony. The pharaoh was not just a king. He was a living bridge between gods and humanity. His death was not an end, but a transformation that had to be carefully guided to ensure the stability of existence itself. The pyramid was not a tomb in the modern sense. It was a transformation engine, a machine designed to assist the soul's journey into the afterlife. Every corridor, every angle, every sealed chamber served symbolic and functional roles in this cosmic transition. The shafts inside the Great Pyramid align with specific celestial bodies. Orion, associated with Osiris, god of rebirth, and Sirius, connected to fertility and renewal. These were not random astronomical choices. They were intentional alignments with the mythological architecture of the sky. In this worldview, building the pyramid was not an act of vanity. It was an act of survival, not for the body of the pharaoh, but for the order of the universe itself, the human reality behind the myth. And yet, beneath this cosmic philosophy lies something deeply human. We often imagine ancient monumental construction as distant and mystical, but the reality is more grounded. Sweat, coordination, food supply chains, seasonal labor cycles, and administrative planning made it possible. The Nile's annual flooding likely provided a natural labor window when agricultural workers could be redirected to state projects. This means the pyramids were not just spiritual expressions, they were also logistical achievements. They required taxation systems, resource distribution networks, and long-term political stability. In a sense, the pyramid is evidence of something very modern: centralized coordination on a massive scale. The last mystery is not how, but meaning. Today, 4.5 millennia later, the pyramids remain largely unchanged. Empires have come and gone, religions have transformed, languages have disappeared. Yet the stones remain, slowly eroded but still aligned with the sky. We can explain much of how they were built. We can reconstruct methods, test physics, simulate labor requirements. But something still resists full explanation, because the deepest mystery is not engineering, it is intention. Why devote decades, possibly generations, to building something that touches the sky but does not serve daily life? Why pour an entire civilization's resources into a structure designed not for comfort but for eternity? The answer lies in a mindset where human existence was measured not in years, but in cosmic cycles. Where death was not an ending, but a transition requiring architectural preparation. Where building was not about leaving a name behind, but about maintaining harmony between earth and the heavens. And that is why they still matter. The pyramids endure not because they are merely old, but because they represent a rare moment in history when belief, power, mathematics, labor, and imagination aligned perfectly. They are not just relics of the past. They are reminders that human beings, given enough time, organization, and shared purpose, can reshape the landscape in ways that still defy expectation. And perhaps that is why they continue to unsettle us. Because when we look at them, we are not just seeing ancient stones. We are seeing evidence of what humans are capable of when they believe their work matters beyond their own lifespan. And that is a question no archaeological tool can fully answer. Only each generation can reinterpret it for itself.
Goodbye.